Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. I'm doing a sort of a reaction video to Pop Goes the 60s latest video on the Beatles Now and Then. And I just want everyone to know, in case you don't, that I love Matt's channel, Pop Goes the 60s. I recently had him on my channel to promote his channel because I enjoy it so much. Not that I agree with everything he says or he agrees with all of my thoughts, but he's a good guy, and I hope you check out his channel and this latest video on his thoughts on Now and Then. So I agree with some of what he says, and I don't agree with some of what he says. And so here we go. And I'll just, like I said, I hope you check out his full video. I'll have a link for it. And here we go.
To discuss the Beatles single Now and Then. I waited a few days to do this. I wanted some of the hype to die down and to take in a little bit of what I was seeing going on around me. And I wanted to just expand on a few things that really are outside of the song, because there's really some adjacent topics involved with this that I think are more important than the song itself. Now, my expectations for the song were rather low going in. I had heard the demo, and when I heard it was going to be redone and worked on, I started listening to it again. And I can totally understand why George Harrison called it fucking rubbish.
See, I don't know about that, if it could be true, but I'm wondering if George was kind of meaning, because they were getting frustrated working on that particular song because the recording was so poor. So I don't know. Maybe somebody can let me know in the comment section below. But I've never, even today, well, actually I have. Just recently I've heard what I believe is the demo. But I'm not, when I first heard Now and Then, it was the very first time I'd heard it.
Back in '95. And I concur. I don't think this is a strong song. I think the melody is weak.
See, right there, I disagree with you, Matt. Because I can't get the song out of my head. Can't get it out of my head.
There's a reason why I probably didn't wind up on either Double Fantasy or Milk and Honey. And I think the lyrics are even worse. And it's
yeah, for me, like I've said, the lyrics are simple, what there is. But I think there's a lot of meaning in those few words. And it's touched me, and I know it's touched a lot of other people on the internets.
It's not what I expect from John Lennon, which is why it didn't get worked on much further. It needed more work. And the guys that worked on it, Ringo, Paul, Giles Martin, George, Jeff Lynne, there's only so much they could do to this song. And they just couldn't make anything out of this sow's ear. They couldn't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, as the saying goes. And I know some people would disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
But if you look at, I'm just listening to the song itself, forget the videos, forget all this nostalgia. That's
right there, that kind of, I don't know, the word nostalgia, I can't even say it. I can't help having those kind of feelings because one of my first memories is seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show when I was like 5, 6 years old. And they've been a huge part of my life. So there's going to be nostalgia.
the thing people can't separate. And that's what
But I can separate that from a song, even a Beatles song. As much as I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, like some of you know, I didn't listen to I didn't buy Paul McCartney albums for like 26 years because I didn't think he was putting out strong enough albums. But with the Beatles, I love every one of their songs. And when I left a comment, I said, thank you for not including me in one of the thumbnails that he uses for the reactions. I was seriously kind of, I don't want to see my face. But yeah, even some Beatles songs that real Beatle fans don't care for, like Why Don't We Do It in the Road and Wild Honey Pie, which don't have great lyrics, but I love the song. The vocals, the music, I love the song. And that's the same with Now and Then, for me.
I want to talk a little bit about here on this channel. Now, one of the things that seems very clear to me with regard to this song is Paul McCartney really wanted to get this song finished.
Yeah.
And it was halted back in '95 by George, and they had to have consensus, and they didn't get it. And Paul always threatened to finish it off. Well, this seems to stem from some unfinished business Paul McCartney has with John Lennon. You know, a score that he wants to settle that, you know, John Lennon was taken early, and there's a lot of unresolved things that probably needed to happen for him to feel okay before John left. But, you know, you don't always get to decide those things. And it seems to me that continuing to sing with John Lennon, if you will, like he does in concert and all those things, and it seems like he's trying to fill some empty hole that he just can't seem to fill.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, I mean, he's already done this. He did this with a John Lennon recording back in '95. So Now and Then is really doing something again. This is not a new thing. The technology obviously is better, and they can save the original recording, but that's about it. Now, Apple seized the moment. I think they were very aware of, like, well, hey, you know what? Wait a minute here. If we put out a new Beatles song, that is far wider appeal than, say, a Rubber Soul box set. And what we see Apple
We want that Rubber Soul box set.
trying to do, at least this year, they are very, almost desperately trying to broaden their fan base to younger people.
Yep.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
That's the proper thing to do. However, what they're butting up against here is a little bit of the Beatles' legacy. And when you're curating the legacy, you want to make sure you're doing it properly. And
I wish I had Matt's hair. And he gets prepared for his videos. Look at the sheet he has with all the notes. My notes are Talk More Talk, Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. Those are my notes.
I question whether this is proper treatment of the Beatles' legacy, particularly when you take a song Now and Then and you put it on the Blue album next to all those wonderful classics like Let It Be, Strawberry Fields, A Day in the Life, as if it belongs with those songs.
See, right there, for me personally, I disagree because I love the song. Is it as great as Strawberry Fields Forever or A Day in the Life? No. But for me, it sounds like the Beatles. I love John Lennon's vocals on it. I love the melody. It's stuck in my head, like I said. And I think it's a nice way to end the Beatles' legacy, I guess. And to bring in newer fans.
And I would say that it does not. Now, one of the things Apple did do here that I thought also was very shrewd is that they released a mini documentary on the making of the song, which is about 12 minutes. The following day, they released the song. Mm-hmm. And on the third day, they released the Peter Jackson video. And by putting that song kind of juxtaposed in the middle of these videos, it really maximized the nostalgia. I mean, all the imagery, it's very hard to separate that from this release. And that's,
I agree. It's from the past. And it's memories, good memories.
That's what they were marketing. That's what they were counting on because the song isn't very strong. What else do you have but nostalgia? Now, one thing Apple was counting on is the cottage industry of YouTubers like myself who use this material for our own channels and provide free promotion for Apple and the Beatles and all these other artists.
Yeah, but we do that for anytime you talk about music, anytime you're, as some of you know, I've been talking about Sparks all these years, and I've gotten dozens of people to become fans of Sparks talking about them. Yeah, you're promoting what you like. So it's not just the Beatles, but I know Matt knows that. He better know that.
And a lot of these younger people that Apple, I think, is trying to capture as Beatle fans will see these videos when they normally might not hear of a single download of a new Beatles song. Yeah. So this does get this into the ears of new people. The problem is that the people doing the videos oftentimes, I think, are very insincere.
Now, this is where I agree with him, like, partially. And he'll show, these thumbnails and that I don't like it either. And it's not just for the Beatles reaction, that's for any music reaction. And they're like, and they got the tears and all that. And I cried. And it's just, it's kind of like clickbait. I work on thumbnails too. You try and grab people's attention with a thumbnail, but you have to be sincere. You have to be honest with your thumbnails. And sometimes, and not just young people, some of these reaction channels, they're just phony. I do agree, but not all of them.
Drowning in a sea of their own drool and feigning crocodile tears just to get clicks.
See, yeah, I don't like that. But that's not to say that some of them seriously aren't getting emotional listening to the song. But it's like, oh, I've got to use that as the thumbnail.
Pretending like the song has meaning to them.
But see, right there, maybe it does have meaning for them because the song has meaning for me. It touched me. I've had a lot of loss in my life, and I know it's touched other YouTubers like Matthew Street and Mean Mr. Mayo and many others.
As if they were old enough to have lived during the time when the Beatles were at their most relevant.
But that doesn't matter.
And you see this on these thumbnails where you get the sad face, or
I think I'll do a thumbnail seriously for this video where I'm crying or something,
wiping at the tear. You know, all this stuff, this reality TV bullshit.
Yeah. Besides Matt not really liking the song, thinking it's kind of weak, I agree with a lot of what he's saying. I do.
That permeates the meme world that we see on YouTube. And I just don't think this is good for the Beatles' legacy. I think this makes a mockery of it.
A huge day. I never thought I would have a moment like this in my life today.
See, that to me is over the top. I'm sure, maybe he's sincere, but it's just like overacting silly.
After 40 years, I know, it might seem like I'm exaggerating, but that is a 10 out of 10 song, y'all. That is one of the best songs I have heard this year, full stop.
It's definitely the best song I've heard this year from for a new song.
I'm not just saying that.
Coming into this, I didn't expect to cry. The way that the song was built and the way that it sounded, even the lyrics, everything sounded exactly like their first few singles. I loved everything. As you can see, I can't stop crying.
So, it's up to you, the viewer. Is she being sincere? I don't know. I can't feel her emotions. I can just see. So I don't know.
Most gut-wrenching, heart-rending, soul-breaking, inspiring, beautiful video I've ever seen. Still in shock.
Okay, I gotta be honest. The only problem with this song is that it ends, and that it's only 4 minutes long. I honestly didn't expect it to be such a masterpiece. I'm speechless.
People were already like saying like they were crying listening to this, and it just feels
I
like...
really get emotional.
Yeah, me too. By the way, you want to hear some wicked wild stories about Vegas? You gotta check out my channel.
And if you want some hotness, check out my fantasy show on the OnlyFans.
Unbelievable. Beatles originally from Liverpool. At the Beatles on everything. I think it's mostly because I'm such a huge Beatles fan. This is going to be an obvious score, but song was incredible. I love the fact that John takes lead on the whole thing. The strings are awesome. The way it sounds exactly like we never left the Beatles era too, which is the coolest part about it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, this is one of the channels that Matt showed, and I've never seen any of them, so I went and I watched their channel, and I think the woman was truly, you could see the tears like when listening to the song. So I think they were being pretty sincere. And they have another video before this saying the Beatles were the best. So, they're Beatles fans. Yeah, and she's getting, emotional. As some of you know, I've had chronic pain for a few years now, and this year has probably been the worst mentally and physically for me. And music helps. And that's all I'll say.
Wow. Wow. It's about as good as seeing a sunset for the first time in your life, isn't it?
So did you get to listen to the song?
Twice.
Now, here's my buddy Glenn Kellaway from the basement. This was his first, I didn't know what he thought of the song. And so on a live chat, I find out for the first time. And I was kind of surprised and probably a little disappointed because, he's a big Beatles fan like I am. So you want to, if you love a song or an album or a group, you want everybody else to love it too. But that's never going to happen. Yeah, I heard it 3 times.
I have one word to describe it. Underwhelming.
Really?
Oh, come on. I mean, that just because we're Beatles fans, we don't have to like. I mean, it's modeling.
Glenn, you're banned from my channel.
It's lyrically, it's really weak.
And then the next day or two, after seeing the video for it,
Hey,
ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest star who doesn't like Now and Then.
Larry, that video is fantastic.
Yeah.
I just watched it. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's
amazing
so
what they
poignant.
did.
And when you put the song in context with the video, I got very emotional.
Yeah.
So the more I listen to the song, the more I'm warming up to it.
Yeah. So that, I won't. There's more of Matt's videos, so please check out his channel. He put a lot of work into it, unlike my videos. And that was a good spot to stop the video. It looks like I'm honest there. Yeah, but even Glenn now, he doesn't think it's a great song. He thinks it's, good. It's okay. And I just, music is very music is very, what am I trying to say? Music just can really touch people. And not everybody is going to like what you like or love. And I understand that. But it's when you're kind of There's one other thing to show.
There are clusters of other Beatles-centric YouTube channels out there and podcasts that are intent on controlling a narrative.
I got a text from a friend of mine. Oh,
Now, Andy is a Facebook friend of mine. He has a couple of YouTube channels, Talk More Talk and Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. So please check those out.
a big Beatle fan. I was kind of underwhelmed. I'm like, well, whatever. Like, yeah.
Well, that's like Glenn, right? Glenn said he was underwhelmed.
Years later, come on, like, this is it. You know, come on. So if you accept it on those terms, then you won't be disappointed. And the three of us and many others are not.
Okay, so I don't want to show all of Matt's. You know, he put a lot of work into it. So please check out his full video and leave your thoughts there. But like I said, I didn't make this video to stir up drama on YouTube. I like Matt a lot. I really enjoy his channel and most of his videos. But, you know, like I said, you can disagree about certain things, and I'm not always right. Matt's not always right. We're just lovers of music, I guess, at the end of the day. And for me, I love Now and Then. If I didn't love it, I'd say I don't love it. But I do. And I'm really looking forward to the Red and Blue albums, hopefully this Friday. And yeah, that's the other thing. You know, like I said, my chronic pain and everything. This has been kind of keeps my mind off of it a little bit, and it's exciting. Beatles news is always very exciting, and the Beatles have always been a big part of my life. They still are today, even though it's just nostalgia. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.